From the Winnie the Pooh storybook. This is Walt Disney's Winnie the Pooh. Don't be ROO-diculous. One sunny afternoon, Roo and Tigger were bouncing together in the 100 Acre Wood. Roo looked up at a nearby tree. "Let's see who can reach that branch first," he cried. "You got it, little buddy," said Tigger. Roo jumped up, 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 but he still couldn't come anywhere near the tree branch. Tigger touched it easily. When Roo came down, he lost his balance and landed in a bed of flowers. "Picking some flowers for your mama?" asked Tigger. "I guess," said Roo sadly. "What's the matter, little buddy?" asked Tigger. "I wish I could bounce as high as you," said Roo. "Don't be ROO-diculous," said Tigger. "You bounce pretty good for a little fella." Tigger picked some flowers and handed them to Roo. "Besides," he added as he bounced off, "bouncing is what Tiggers do best." Roo sighed into the flowers. "I wish I weren't so small," he said. He looked up at the tree. "One day," he said out loud, "I want to reach that branch and swing from it." "Pardon me for interrupting, but perhaps I can help," said Winnie the Pooh, who was on his way back from Piglet's house. "Do you really think so, Pooh?" asked Roo, looking at his friend with interest. Perhaps, he thought, Pooh really did know something about how to be bigger. "Why, yes," said Pooh. He took the flowers out of Roo's arms and lifted up his little friend. Pooh carried Roo until they were underneath the tree branch in question. Then he held Roo up. Pooh had to stand on his tippy toes, and Roo had to stretch his arms as high as they would go. But it worked. Roo was able to reach the tree branch. "Whee!" cried Roo as he swung from the branch. "I'll rest here while you play, and make sure you get down safely. Just let me know when you're ready," said Pooh. No sooner had Pooh's back touched the tree than he fell asleep. Roo swung happily for a few minutes, then his arms got tired. "Oh, Pooh," he called down. Roo didn't want to wake Pooh, so he scrambled up onto the branch. Now he could swing his legs, which was much easier than swinging his arms. Even so, Roo began to grow bored. "If I were bigger," he thought, "I could get down by myself." After what seemed like a long time to Roo, he heard someone coming. It was Christopher Robin. Not terribly surprised to find Pooh snoozing against a tree, Christopher Robin was very surprised to find Roo sitting in the tree. Roo explained what had happened. "I can help you down," said Christopher Robin, who didn't want to wake Pooh either. He held out his arms and Roo jumped safely into them. Once back on the ground, Roo thanked Christopher Robin. Then he scooped up the flowers and unhappily headed home. The next day, Roo went off to have a good long sulk. He wasn't sure why, but sulking reminded him of Eeyore. And without really planning it, Roo ended up at his friend's house of sticks. Eeyore wasn't home, so Roo sat down to wait for him to return. Absent-mindedly, he picked up a stick that had fallen from Eeyore's house. As Roo examined it, he began thinking it would be useful for a lot of things besides Eeyore's house. A Pooh Sticks stick. A pretend sword. Suddenly, Roo had an idea. "That's it!" he cried. "I know just what to do!" And he hurried off. Roo stopped by Rabbit's house and borrowed a hammer and nails. Then he went into the woods and collected as many sticks as he could find. Roo began to nail sticks to a very tall tree. Before long, he had a ladder that he could climb to reach the tree branches without anyone's help. Roo couldn't help but feel rather proud of himself. He resolved to make ladders on several more trees. But for now, he climbed the tree in front of him and happily swung from its branches. Roo was unaware how much time had passed until he heard his mother's worried cry, "Roo!" Then he heard Rabbit, Owl, Tigger, and Pooh calling him too. "I'm up here!" he shouted. Everyone quickly gathered by the tree. "Roo," said Kanga, "how on earth did you get up there?" Roo pointed to his ladder. Then he admitted to Kanga and the others how small he had been feeling. "That's using your noggin," said Tigger, admiring the ladder. "There's nothing small about your brain, little buddy." Roo grinned from ear to ear as he climbed down. "I'm so proud of you, dear," Kanga said. "You didn't give up. You kept at it until you figured out how to feel bigger. And don't worry," she added, "you will be bigger soon enough." Kanga lifted a tired little Roo into her pouch. "But for now, you're just the right size."